part of what I've been talking to you about, and there's quite a number of issues here, everything from softness and structure, and then what I call lines of force. And I want to elaborate on lines of force for a moment. So if Ben's got his hand on me here, and he's coming straight in to move me, he's got a line of force that's generated from wherever in his body he's generating it from, and it's coming up and through and into me. Right now he's just directing it straight through, so put some pressure to that. And he can put a lot in there, and because my line of force through me is down to the ground on that, and he's pushing straight across, he's really going to have to like really put massive amount of power in there to supersede me. Now when he did it, and he started to put a massive amount of power in there, I took that line of force he's got here and I kicked it out just a little bit. And because I took it out and around and he's still putting force to it, his power line, actually his line of force, his power, his structure behind that, follows that, which is why when he's here and I'm coming that way with that much, and he'll follow that. Now it's not just that way, that's an easy one for where he's at, but there's also this. So if I take that line and come the same way, it'll have an effect as well. I can even start to back it up that way, although he's pretty good and connected, but if there was a hole or a gap or a wrong place in there, I could do that. He just put one, and it'll feed back right to that spot. I won't have to even do anything other than just start sending it back. So he's pushing there, and I'm pushing it back up that line. Now, with it being together, it's easier if I say, well, let's just extend that line a little bit, right? Or extend that line a little bit this way. Now, these are sort of what I call external. They're easy to see. In other words, if he's here pushing me like that, and you see how this one's down here, well, I go, well, let's see it. All right, and it was external. Now, if he really keeps his body integrity good all the way from the floor, I can do that, and it doesn't break his line of force, and it won't go off like that, because he's keeping his integrity good and his physical structure good. So I'm trying to do that, and it's just not happening. So what happens is, I've got to find then in that line of force if there's a place where it's easily moved or an error of some sort. So at the moment, there's sort of an error in that he's really backed up a lot there, and so I'll push through to that, and you saw it just took him right off there, and try to go ahead and fix that. And so now if I push in there, I can feel I'm pushing off the floor. Now I'll push down through him, and there I found the bottom of it, which is in here. I'm going to go to the other side of that, and notice it just pushes him right out of there. So you think about it as a line of force, and where is it initiated from? So from here, where are you initiating force from in your body? This part, we know this line is this. From beyond here, where is it? And I'm going to push to his back, which I'm pushing to right now. So I know it's beyond that because it's just not doing anything. Okay, and what direction is it? And so he's kind of got it equally split amongst his legs. Let's see how much. So I'm going to push with the idea of I want to overcome his lower back. So we know that where his really initiating is just slightly above the lower back. That's why he moves so easy. If I'm in here doing this with him, and that's what's going on, is he's starting to push this, and I push to that area, I basically gave it that, and that was enough to move him out. So he has to fix that and get that line of force to come from his legs for me not to be able to move him like that. And then I pushed towards the floor. I felt it didn't make it all the way to the floor before I felt the other side of where he was powerful, the empty spot. Well, I pushed that, and there he goes. So that was coming out here. So he's going to want to connect that line of force from the floor all the way through, which is through structure, even though you're relaxing around it. And like that. And so now when I push in there, I feel this sponginess, and yet it's got a pressure coming out. That's the pung that we talked about before, right? And if he can keep that while he's pushing me in the place that I'm in, he'll just move me because it catches my error of position, which was, instead of this, was that much. And so even if I fix that, go ahead. Now he's got to keep his too, because if he comes, because I'm in a good enough position now, if he breaks his line of force at all, it gives it to me. So try not to break your line of force there. And I can feel that there's a lot of this in terms of his push. So even though he's generating, trying to generate by being connected to the floor inside, pushing, think this stuff. I can feel that there's a gap in it or a break at the elbow. And so I literally pushed to that gap, that place where I could feel it was having an error in the line of force, a structural error in the line of force, and I pushed to it. And if he puts more power into it at that point, it only makes it worse. I don't have to move at all. So he fixes that. And so now he's still got an issue there, and you can tell because when he started to push, he could feel the force coming out, the force of the push in there. He could feel it coming out there without me having to really do anything. And he went, oh, okay, I know that's not right yet. And he went to fix it. And so you want to make sure that you've really got that good position so that your lines of force are really have power, and your partner is helping you to do this. So it's not overly competitive, it's more of a cooperative thing. At the same time, you're seeing where is it, how is it, and is it strong or not. And if your partner's moving you out, that's not the time to get angry, that's the time to go, I've got some errors to fix here, and fix them. All right, work on that.